You guys probably know that I have a pup husky named Roxy. And while I thought that it's cool to own a dog, I think it would be so much cooler to own a bear. Meet Bear Warshawski. Come on, little boy. Come here, come on daddy's lap. Yes, this is little Bear Warshawski, my new pup. And I know your first reaction. What about Roxy? Don't worry, Roxy's not going anywhere. She's my little pup forever and ever. Like most of you know, I do share Roxy with my dad. In fact, we got Roxy together when my mom passed away to have something to bond over. But nowadays, since I'm living apart from my dad, I feel awful when I have to take Roxy away from him and then leave him alone because it makes him really sad. And on the other hand, when I have to give Roxy back to him, I get really sad because I want to still have a pup around. What better way to celebrate being a dog lover, get health benefits, cheer up myself, cheer up my dad, and get Roxy an awesome brother than to get a little Newfie and name him Bear. A Newfie is a Newfoundland. And I know it sounds like I'm saying New Finland, but I'm saying Newfoundland in a way that it's properly pronounced. So I'm still learning myself. This little guy here, right now, he's only 8 weeks old. He's technically tiny, but he weighs basically half of Roxy. So you can imagine he's gonna be probably 150 pounds when he grows up full size. He's gonna be a huge beast. The highlight of the Newfoundland breed is their temperament. I mean, these guys are known as gentle giants for a very good reason. They're amazing with kids, they're amazing with people. They're basically giant people pleasers. And that's how their breed came to be. They were working dogs that helped haul loads. They helped rescue people that were drowning because they're excellent swimmers because of these webbed, huge feet of theirs. I mean, his paw is bigger than my wrist. Like, I don't have the biggest wrist in the world, but Jesus. He has hiccups. Growing pups always have hiccups. That's not new, so that doesn't even concern me. I'm sure you've heard that there are health benefits to owning a pup, but do you know exactly what all those health benefits are? Anxiety and depression. We know dogs make us feel good, but actually they're great at warding off mental illness. Yeah, those who have pups generally have less anxiety and less depressive symptoms. We don't have a clear understanding why dogs help with anxiety and depression, but we know that they definitely make you more social. And this is great for all ages. Kids benefit from this. There was a study talking about how kids who are autistic benefit greatly by spending time with a dog. It's great for socialization. Another point in life it's really good for is when you're 20s and you're 30s and you're trying to find someone new and you're dating and it's not that easy. Guess what? Get an adorable pup, go to the dog park, meet some dog people, because generally dog people are really awesome people. I don't know why I did awesome people. We've talked about the negative effects of chronic stress on your body, and a lot of that is a result of the chronic activation of your sympathetic nervous system. That's that flight or flight response that keeps you always on edge. Well, guess what? Having a dog, petting a dog, lowers your blood pressure, calms your sympathetic nervous system, and you get a lot of health benefits from that. Not only is your heart healthy because your blood pressure is lower, but in studies, when we've looked at dog owners and comparing them to non-dog owners, we found that the dog owners had lower cholesterol, lower triglycerides, and that really makes a difference for heart health. It reduces the risks of heart attacks, strokes. If you can reduce a chance of having one of these major illnesses and diseases happen to you just by owning an amazing dog, while this is not directly a health benefit, I think this is incredibly awesome. Dogs' noses are 40 times more sensitive than a human's nose is. And what dogs have been able to do is sniff and detect cancer. Initially, this was just based on anecdotal evidence of people telling stories that a dog was licking their lump and they got it checked out and found out it was cancer. But now we have scientific research on this to the point where we're thinking about using dogs in medical care for this. It's incredible. Dogs can smell cancer. Contrary to popular belief, having a dog in a household actually decreases the likelihood that your children will develop asthma, eczema, or allergies. And that's usually a trio that runs in tandem together. Let's get out of science land for a moment. Not only do you see benefits within heart attack patients, depressed patients, Alzheimer's patients, but the biggest benefit and like the most exciting stuff that I've seen research on is that they compared people who own dogs and people who don't own dogs. And guess what? Those who own a dog drastically and significantly extend their lives. And we don't have a clear explanation for that, whether that means dog owners take more walks and are more active. Is it because they're more social? Is it because their stress levels are lower because they're constantly petting and playing with their dogs? It's likely a combination of all of these factors. What's cool about having a big dog is that they can serve as guide dogs, as rescue dogs. They're so smart, they're very intelligent, they're people friendly, and that combination is really good for a working dog to have. Now, I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of rescue missions here with Bear, but what I will be doing is I'm going to get him certified as a therapy dog, and days that I can, I'm going to bring him into the hospital for my patients to play with him, because he's so calm, he's so friendly, and a lot of times in the hospital where patients are sick, we tend to be afraid to bring humor and happiness into the situation because we feel like it may upset the patients. But in reality, patients need a laugh, they need a good time. Those who are sick need a laugh the most. So I hope that Bear can be an awesome therapy dog. We can bring him into the hospital. Maybe we can bring him on a curbside consult with us and ask people questions on the street with Bear with us. And I hope that you guys enjoy him as much as I do.
Will you take part in my life, my love? That is my dream. I think what a dream is what you make it. Always try to give, don't ever take it. I think
Hold on. Getting a puppy is adorable, but it's also a real challenge. The last thing I want you to do is get a puppy and end up regretting it. So here are 5 things you must know before you get a puppy. Puppy depression is very common. And I'm not talking about the puppy being depressed. I'm talking about you.
No, not me, you.
You have all these expectations that you and your puppy are gonna be cuddling on the couch, and next thing you know, the puppy just wants to be alone in the kitchen. This is very normal. Don't have those feelings of buyer's remorse. Give it time, allow the puppy to acclimate. Training takes patience. Feeding a young puppy is really tricky. You have to feed them up to 4 times a day, especially ones as big as Bear. Go get it. A lot of people think they can just free feed their puppies, leave a bowl of food and the puppy will figure it out. No, your puppy will become obese, and then guess what? Every time your puppy eats, it needs to poop. So your house is gonna be covered in poop. And have you ever seen a Newfie's poop?
That is one big pile of
Walking a puppy is no easy feat, but it's extremely important. Doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, you still have to walk your puppy. And most people get their puppies around 10 weeks of age, which means that a walk is necessary every 3 to 4 hours. So if you're working an 8-hour workday, maybe a puppy isn't for you. When walking your new puppy, you may come off rude to other dog owners because you can't just let your puppy play on leash with other pups. It's gonna turn into trouble, leashes are gonna get tangled, someone's gonna get bitten. Not a great idea. Plus, it's no good if you want a well-behaved pup. Come on, pup. Good boy. Dogs get dirty. I mean, Bear, when he sees mud, he not only walks in it, he lies down in it, he rolls around in it, he drools in it some. But thankfully, he likes taking baths, so it's not such a painful process. But some dogs hate baths, so it's really gonna be personality dependent. You really shouldn't use human products on your dog. No to human shampoo and no to human hair dryers. Special dog dryer. It's not too hot and it essentially blows the water off the dog. And it's not just bathing him. You gotta brush him. You gotta clip his toenails. This is a true time commitment. Crate training is by far the most effective way to housebreak your dog and to make sure they don't destroy your home.
What the f did you do?
Go inside. Good boy. Dogs are den creatures. They love enclosed spaces. Bear goes in here after playing with Roxy, and it's his place to rest. He sleeps here, he hangs out here, and he's not gonna pee in here because it's such an enclosed space. Proving how much he loves his crate, even when I open the door, he doesn't feel the need to run out because this is his home. He loves it in there. I did thorough research before I got Bear, and I was warned about drool in big breeds. But holy moly, how much drool there is. There's drool in my food. I take drool with me to work on my clothes. It's on my mirrors. The drool struggle is real. The cost struggle is real too. Outside of paying for basic pet supplies, you also have to plan for vet visits, vaccinations, and if your pet gets sick, the bills really rack up. In fact, Bear's sick right now and needs antibiotics. This is expensive on any budget. Look, I don't want it to seem like I'm against you getting a puppy. I love puppies. I've made other videos with these guys before, and they're truly part of my family. But I want you to be prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. So if you know someone that's about to get a puppy or thinking about getting a puppy, definitely share this video with them. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. As always, stay happy and healthy. Keep going, keep going, keep going, come on, more. Roxy gotta stay in one spot. The cost struggle is real too. Is real. I'm against some. I don't know what that was.
You're using.
Oh, use a dog. What is this thing called? It's time to wash the floofy noofy. Bear, get in here. Noof! Hi, puppy. So this is one of the Bengal Newfoundlands. I'm trying to be like that guy that shows the cats on the TikTok. Oh, he's too heavy. Okay, you ready? It's time, it's bath time. You're stinky. I took you out in the rain. You were running around the field. Let's go in, bath time. Excellent job. Bear's really easy to wash actually because he's just like down for anything. But I like to tell him, like I do with my patients, all the things I'm gonna do before I do them. So Bear, the first thing I'm gonna do is turn on the water. Then I'm gonna wet you. I'm gonna get you very wet. Then once that happens, I'm gonna get the shampoo and I'm gonna lather you up. Once you're fully lathered, I'm gonna make sure I get all ends washed of you from top to bottom. Do you agree? High five if you agree. Okay, you agree, good. The problem with this water is sometimes it has really bad control over temperature. So I wanna make sure that it's not too hot because for dogs, hot water is no bueno. The craziest thing about Bear is that he looks huge when he's all poofy, but when he starts getting wet, he's actually really skinny. Bear, how are you feeling about this? His fur is actually a little oily, the top layer, so it prevents water from getting in. Bear, can I have a kiss while I wash you? Thank you. So you gotta be careful when you get dog shampoo like I did. I got the one that's concentrated, so you're gonna need to dilute it pretty heavily. Okay, this is your shampoo. All right, oh, it's so heavy. This is the version of a dog sponge. So you wanna introduce it to the dog so he feels safe with it, lets him smell it. I mean, Bear's really laid back, so it doesn't matter at all what you do with him, but okay. Now we wash the noof, make sure we get deep into his skin folds. The good part about this rubbery thing is it does a good job at getting through the fur, even knots. Also, when you do this with your dog, it should be a fun thing, so like bringing your dog snacks is great. Bear, do you want a snack? Or do you want to just lick my face? Your breath's gonna smell better after I brush your teeth, though. Look how much fur comes out of this guy. Oh! Yeah, I feel like you're concentrating on solving a math problem. Which math problem are you thinking about? Clean the butt? He doesn't like that? Good boy, Bear. Good boy. Oh my God, look at this. I have a special like ShamWow-esque product here where you can actually put your hands inside of this and just hug your dog like it's a giant little loofah. Giant little loofah. Look, it's like he's being born. And I want to do this as much as possible before he starts flicking it off all over the place. Yeah. Okay, he did it. Nonetheless. Wow, this is soaked already. Then I have the next ShamWow dog towel. These are super absorbent, so they do a great job at holding the water and pulling the water off your dog. Okay, come on. Oh. You see the floor is already soaked and he just came out. Bear, are you happy? Yeah. Who's happy? Hang out here for a second. Tell me this doesn't look like the twin turbo back end of a jet. You might look at this contraption and say to yourself, why in the world do you need such a crazy dog blower? Dog skin is too sensitive, so you can't really use heat. The goal with dogs and drying them, especially big floofy dogs like Bear, is to blow the wetness off of them. When you blow really forceful air, you could actually see his skin. And that allows me, as I go through, to see if there's any rashes or anything else popping up in the skin. Also, a mistake that a lot of people make with these, if you go in like circles like this, you could actually create tangles in your dog's hair. So the goal is to always do it in one direction. Oh, my low back. Oh, the tail stays wagging, right? Yeah. This is like a shearing blade. It's a comb, but on the other end, it's really sharp. So when you're going through his floof, it could actually take extra hair out and tangles out. A lot of dog groomers will avoid using these because some people overuse them and start like ripping hair out of their dog. So you have to be really conscientious about how you use this. Get a newfie, they said. It'd be fun, they said. When hair clumps together on a dog like this, oxygen and air stops being able to pass through it. The dog becomes more vulnerable to skin infections, fungal and bacterial. I had a groomer for about a year, and then they just started jacking up their prices to like $600, even though this takes only 2 hours. I mean, they do come to you, but then their scheduling system was a mess, and I actually enjoy doing this. The only negative part about this is obviously the hair everywhere, so you have to vacuum after, and then also the fact that my water pressure sucks. But otherwise, it's great. It's very therapeutic. It's probably why like moms or dads play with like braid their children's hair. It's like, it's fun for them. And you also see that in other primates. I think monkeys love grooming each other too. I feel like I'm a monkey right now, grooming a bear. Interspecies grooming. Do you think he likes it though? Look at this guy. Drooling. This is a wire brush. It's like good for finishing his coat, but I also use it in between to sort of get some of the smaller tangles out before I go with the bigger brush. Didn't he get bigger? It's because he gets floofier. Just crazy. Again, whatever thing you use on your dog, introduce it to the dog. Bear hasn't seen this in a little while because I wasn't clipping him, so I need him to be calm when I turn this on. Turn that on, let him see that nothing bad happens. And then basically I just want to clean up the fur in between his paws here, because when it overgrows, it can be a problem. I'm actually surprised Bear is so comfortable with letting me play with his paws, because when he was a puppy, he actually cut his paw real bad, and I had to take staples out of it after he got an operation. And he let me do it like a champ. But it's important when your dog's a puppy that you handle their paws regularly for this exact reason, so that you can groom your dog. Here we have a Dremel, which is how I shorten Bear's nails. If you actually apply a slight pressure to the top of the nail and to the bottom of the paw pad like this, you can express the nail a little bit further, which will allow you to visualize the vein better. It's time to take care of your gums and teeth to make sure that you don't get cavities. Bear is a little annoying when brushing his teeth because he likes to eat the toothbrush. Okay, so we're gonna get some of the toothpaste on the toothbrush, and Bear will give you his teeth and allow you to brush them. And he'll eat the toothpaste, like I said. This is not a glamorous job, but it's a job that someone has to do. The hardest part is getting the back teeth. Yeah, I'm getting those back teeth. Don't chew the toothbrush. Just wait before you chew the toothbrush, please. I actually don't mind when he chews so much on the back ones, because then it's like he's helping me brush them. Next, we need to clean the inside of, well, not really the inside, more like the outer inside of Bear's ear. And I have these special wipes that my vet recommended. They're called Vet's Best. They have witch hazel, aloe vera, and tea tree oil. All good ingredients against infections. The goal is not to go inside your dog's ear fully, but just to visualize the ear and get the gunk out. Bear gets a lot of gunk in his ears, again, because of his floopiness of his ears. See how gross it is already? I also sometimes will use a solution if there's like a lot of earwax or a lot of buildup that you actually put into his ear and then let him shake his ear out. Oh, and a lot of people don't let their dogs shake their heads when they're cleaning their ears. Definitely let them, because that could mean some water got in there, and the way that they get it out is by shaking. Last part of Bear's grooming routine is to get him outside of the bathroom, away from all this hair. Before we move on to the next section, status check-in of the Bear floof hair. All right, part 2, we want to get him out of the bathroom because it's really wet in there and hairy. So we want to do the finishing touches in here. He's already coming to join us. All right, Noof, we're going to finish your coat now and blow you out. And then I'm going to do a little haircut for you because you're getting a little bit too poofy. High five if that's okay. Okay, good. Play dead. Not the most glamorous part of owning a dog, shaving his beep, but he gets a lot of rashes here because of the moisture gets trapped. Isn't this incredible, Dad? Well, how would bears survive in the wild? That's my question. He would get so matted so quickly on his first day of being wet. He would get skin infections galore. I think this is already more fur than we had in the bathroom. Yeah, this is your favorite part. I know. The least glamorous part of having a dog here, he's looking back at me as I do it. Yeah, clean my butt. Gotta keep the back area hygienic. Right, Noof? Look at the shine on this coat. This is a healthy mammal right here. How do you feel? You smell nice? Who's happy? Who's happy? Come give me a hug. Yeah, you're happy. Yeah. I think your breath smells nice. All right, the floof is clean. He's dry for the most part. He's happy. Look at how much fur leaves this animal. And honestly, if I sat here brushing him for another hour, probably I could double this. But as you can tell, it's pretty easy to groom a dog that behaves well. So it's important to handle your dog early, get them used to you being the owner and playing with them and cleaning their ears and their teeth and their paws, because then it becomes a rewarding experience for the both of you. That's why Bear's a happy pup, right? Yeah, good boy. The connection between dog and man, it's a beautiful thing. Ow! Wow. Look at this dog flying. Bear, you're missing it. Can you jump that high? Whoa. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to jump 23 feet. Pancake dog.
Yes, Getty. Yes.
Bear, it's a pancake dog. Oh, that's so mean. And she's saying eat in Russian. That's actually not a pancake, that's a blinchik. 2 doggos being frozen still. 3 doggos frozen still. Why are they frozen though? They're freaking me out a little. It seems like they're frozen in time. Oh, they're just well-behaved doggos, that's why. God, I love well-behaved doggos. The connection between dog and man, it's a beautiful thing. Oh, he just punched me in the face. Ow! He's straight mugging me. I don't want your paw. I don't want your paw!
Оба. Посмотрите на эту мордаху.
Look at this little face. She says, I want it. I love it. Bear, you need a brother or a sister or a cat.
What's your point now, booby?
Oh, the doggy tried to get a rabbit. I've never seen Bear interact with any other animals outside of his species, so I would be so curious to see how you would with a rabbit.
Bottom line is we need to get a dog for protection. Like
Yeah.
if someone tried to break into our house,
Yeah.
I'd want to make sure that they were immediately terrified.
What is that? Okay, I did not expect that. I think if people break into the house, Bear would just be like, what's up? Can you pet me? As long as you pet me, I'll show you where all the valuables are. Right, Noof?
Let me inlay a false tooth for you.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Look at the unknowing corgi not know how to react. Aw, I would make that my phone background if I was that dog owner. This is a dog that is being That's Bear. That's Bear. This is you, man. You're this long. Look how long Bear is. We have a dog with a bird. Oh, is the dog gonna eat the bird? Don't eat the bird! Oh my God. Are they best friends? Bear, what would you do if I got you a bird like this? Bear wants nothing to do with this bird. Okay, it's a border collie that's standing there wanting the statue to throw it the toy.
For some reason, this person isn't throwing Hurley his ball.
That's not a real person, border collie. That's also a dog with great manners. Just saying. Kiss. Kiss. Ew. Oh, someone's getting the scratchies. Yeah. Bear, you like the scratchies. You like the scratchies. Whoa. Does the dog have its cat in its mouth fully? Dogs are so gentle with their mouths when they don't want to hurt something. That was insane. Bear, can I take your head and fully... Ew! Oh, look, it's you, Bear. How is that dog not freaked out? Oh, there you go. Scare that bear away. Oh, that's a dog that doesn't want to go somewhere. That's how I feel sometimes when I go to work. Hey. St. Bernard is just like, I'm messing this pool up. Sorry, man. Dogs sometimes make the biggest mess completely accidentally. Bear's floofy tail over there knocks over everything in the house, including lights. Okay, that's not real. Hold on a second, I think I can mimic that. Ready? Okay, we got a house, a Ring camera of some kind. Knock, knock, package. Oh! The dog went through the glass. That is one excitable animal.
Things I haven't been able to do since owning a German Shepherd.
Sleep properly, because the German Shepherd takes up the entire bed. Not have dog hair on all clothes and mouth and food.
Finish a yogurt by myself.
True.
Have a peaceful shower.
True. Bear always likes to barge into the bathroom.
Have any type of wallpaper.
Oh, why does the dog eat the wallpaper? That's strange.
Basic daily chores.
Oh no, see, Bear doesn't like the vacuum. That's a young German Shepherd too. And I wouldn't say these are only things for German Shepherds. I think this is for all pups. Oh my God, a Yorkie found dentures. That is so gross for so many different reasons. What are you doing? They definitely did that on purpose. Come on. Ooh, that's a diesel dog. Oh my God. Is that normal for a dog to be that muscular? I feel like that's a dog that goes to Gold's Gym and maybe does creatine and protein and Anavar and clenbuterol. Okay, too many things. Our first children's hospital visit. Aww. See, this is what my dream for Bear was, but then the COVID pandemic messed it all up. Aww. Supporting paws are the way to go. Tell me you wouldn't want a giant bear to come hang out with you. Smiles are important. Optimism is important. And dogs bring all of that. We couldn't forget about the nurses. Yeah, honestly, everyone stops working when a dog comes into any kind of employee environment. A little bit of trivia. All my podcast guests so far have pretty much universally loved Bear. The person who loved the most, probably Barbara Corcoran. She asked for Bear to slobber all over her outfit. And I was surprised because it was a fancy outfit. Oh, doggo. Taking a bath. In a little cubby. Why do dogs love water so much? I remember I would take Roxy to the dog park and she would literally run to where the puddle was and lay down in it. Oh, that's a cutie. That's a good trick so that when you do it like this, the dog just runs into the hole. Boop. I do the same thing, but with touch. Touch. There you go. Okay, we have a... This is not how I bathe Bear because Bear does not fit in a giant tub, human-sized, let alone a sink. But this already looks clutch. Oh, it's so cute. It's so easy to watch. Look how little it is. Yeah, dogs love chasing air. I don't know why. They just like, oh my God, look at that little face. And you could shape it too. I've also tried grooming Bear with kitchen shears and that failed miserably. I got called out by all these dog groomers. So now I have proper dog shears.
You ready to show off?
Oh, is the dog gonna show off? How is the dog gonna show off? The dog is sliding around on the ice slide. Oh, it's a Newfoundland. I'm just gonna scooch in right here if you don't mind. Oh my God, when Bear steps on you like that, you gotta remember these dogs have big dew claws that really hurt if they catch you. Cause like they're super sharp down here. You can't even see them because it's like buried in his fur. Okay, going for a walk. Oh, that's a shoulder dislocation. I can diagnose it right then and there. By the way, tip for dog owners with dogs that pull, keeping a shorter lead or a leash, meaning like holding it closer to the dog's neck, will remove that slack and therefore remove the ability of the dog to really get a running start and have all that momentum to pull you and hurt your shoulder. That's a Frenchie that loves sticks. It's a great way to bring a dog home.
Oh, honey, you're stuck.
Aw, Bear used to get stuck like that too. So did Roxy. Ow! Yeah, like watching them navigate stairs or go through hallways, doorways, they constantly. Aw, poor dog. Terrible. And yet they're so resilient. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna make it through. It'll be fine. It's like watching Roxy hobble around on 3 legs. It's sad, but at the same time, she's still so happy. Oh, no way this dog knows how to blow. There's no way Bear would do that. I could not train him to do that. Doggy, hi doggy. Oh, it's a fake doggy. What's gonna happen? Is the dog gonna freak out? Oh no, is it gonna get scared? No, don't scare your dog. Most dogs wouldn't get scared by it. They would not smell it, so they would not be worried. Except maybe that little one. Poor doggy. Its brain is just short-circuiting because it recognized it in the visual cortex, but then in the olfactory area, it's like, no, it's not there. I've tried doing this with Bear. He's too heavy, he's too uncomfortable to pick up. I don't know how to pick him up like that. In fact, I need a video of how this dog owner picked up their Newfoundland like this. Oh, no way this is real. Is this real? Do they do this for dogs? Vets, let me know. Do dogs get breathing treatments like this? I can't imagine dogs sit still for this. God, I don't think I can live in that home. Whenever I would take Roxy to the park, dog park, and not let her go in because she was not behaving, she was pulling, etc., and I would sit on the outside until she would calm down, she would be screaming like that and people thought I was abusing her just because I wasn't letting her go into the dog park. They're so vocal. Memes, memes, memes. All right, we're about to react to medical, I guess they're not medical, dog memes, and I brought my good friend Bear. Bear, you're gonna laugh at these, right? Yeah, you're gonna laugh at them. Memes, high five? Oh, you almost punched me. Other high five? Yeah, memes, high five. Where do you see yourself in 20 years? Me turning into a dog. Honestly, I think owners look like their dogs. I don't know how that is true because we're not related to our dogs, but maybe our selections are based off that. So do you think I look like this? Do I look like you? Look for the girl with the broken smile. This is one heck of a broken smile. When the doctor takes an x-ray of my heart. Oh, it's a little wiener dog. I love wiener dogs. They're so cute. They have so much personality. They do yap a little bit too much. They do kind of ignore your commands, but otherwise, they're really sweet. They love to snuggle. And honestly, medically, I would say you have cardiomyopathy. Wienermegaly. Cardiomegaly means you have an enlarged heart. Wienermegaly means you have a large friend. It's a short trip. Pack only what you need. Me, the dog. Bear, you always want to go in the suitcase, but you can't fit. I searched for my dog for 20 minutes. Oh my God. That's literally Bear. Bear, this is you. Bear looks like a bear rug on the floor most times. Do you remember when Bear was little? He used to lay on my lap like this and I could just pet him like that. Now his head's bigger than his whole actual body. Borkers, Yorkers, Boofers, Yippers, Yoofers, Woofers. I understand what a yipper is. They're kind of like yippy dogs. A Yoofer I kind of get too. They go woof. Borkers go woof. Bear, you would be in the mix of a Boofer and a Borker. I would ask him to bark, but I'm like 99% sure he won't do it. Bear, if I had treats, you'd listen to me. You have 1 hour to eat 500 nuggets. Who do you choose to help you? Honestly, I think if I put out 500 nuggets, Bear eats all of them in 1:47 seconds. I wish we could test it in a healthy way, but we probably can't without hurting Bear. What's your ideal work environment? Yes, honestly, Bear sitting, but not on my lap. He's too heavy for that. He'll break the chair. We just weighed him in at 130 the other day. Him sitting at my feet, keeping my feet warm, that's the way to go. Lost dog. Doesn't bark much, well-behaved, likes Metallica. This reminds me of Friends when they used to have the pet duck. Oh, look, I forgot the name of this dog. It's a Whippet.
It looks close.
Looks close, right?
Close enough.
It's either a Whippet or some kind of... No, I think it's a Whippet. See, I know my dog breeds. My owner has been gone for 0.02 seconds. 911. Have you tried eating the couch? Okay, Bear doesn't eat the couch because he's a good boy. The secret to having your dog not eat the couch is crate training them early on. That way, when they're in the crate, they're not going to be eating the couch. When they come out of the crate, you could visualize what they're doing and make corrections as needed, and only allow them out of the crate under direct observation to make those corrections. Right, Bear? That's why you don't eat the couch. Give me a kiss. No? Kiss? Oh, thank you. Yeah, you don't eat the couch, but you eat my face. Dare I say, Chihuahua muffin? Come on, it's a Chihuahua muffin! Honestly, blueberry muffins are one of my favorite foods, and I grew up eating them, and I kind of hate that I did, because I think that's what secretly destroyed my cholesterol. You have no idea how much saturated fat and fat there is in muffins. A muffin, you would think is just like, oh, it's like a little snack. No, it's not a snack. It's a hidden treasure trove of saturated fat and calories and carbs. Jurassic Bark. Oh my God, Bear has a Halloween costume of a dinosaur. We'll put it on shortly. Don't stop retrieving. Hold on to that feeling. Feline. I can't pronounce feline. Bear, do you like cats? I'm gonna do this. This is gonna get me in trouble. If this video gets 300,000 likes, I will consider getting Bear a pet cat that looks just like him. A brown cat. Do they make brown cats? Corgia, South Corgilina, North Corgilina. You know what's funny? The other dog that I was considering getting Bear as a friend was a Corgi. Because I feel like I've grown out of the phase of wanting a very athletic dog. I want a chill dog. Bear's a very chill dog, but imagine having 2 chill dogs. You'd have them smile at each other like this all the time. Like, cheese. Let me in so I can tell you I want to go back outside again. Yeah, that's most dogs. That's why I'm happy Bear doesn't have a doggy door. So I can just keep him inside all the time, right, Noof? You know, Bear reminds me of those troll dolls. Look at that. How do you feel about his mohawk? Look at that. I'm not fat. I'm just a little husky. Oh, and it has 2 different color eyes. Those are so cute. You gotta try and keep your dog not obese, because dogs that carry extra weight live shorter lives. They have problems with their hips. So that's why we're trying to keep Bear nice and trim. I don't mean his hair, because that's clearly not trim, but his body is very nice. You could just barely feel his ribs, so you know he's in a good body habitus. CPR not working, let's hide the body. That's funny. Bear does that all the time, especially if I'm lying down. Does your dog bite? No, it's worse. She judges. When Bear comes up to people and people are like, oh my God, can I pet your dog? I say, yeah, sure, just be careful. And as soon as I say be careful, they panic. But what I'm saying is be careful, he slobbers. Half the people say, oh my God, I don't want to get my clothes dirty, but he's so cute. And then the other people welcome his drool on their face as if it's moisturizer. And I'm like, all right, you're going too far. I grab my keys, my dog. Honestly, if I come up to the door and I put on my shoes, Bear does not react. But if I come on and he hears the jingle of his leash, that's a game changer. Finally, a political movement I can get behind. Thor Michelson says no to vacuums. They're loud and they freak him out. Honestly, Bear doesn't get scared of vacuums, but if you come next to him with the vacuum and like you're vacuuming next to him, he freaks out. He wants to get away. Pixar. Bear, look, it's a cone. Well, actually, when Bear had his surgeries, I didn't get him a cone. I got him like this round inflatable pillow thing. He seemed to be more comfortable with it. I almost had a heart attack this morning. Oh, it kind of does look like a tiger. Oh, that's funny. How is that dog so tall? I don't even know what's happening here, to be honest. I feel like this is Photoshop. Oh, this is the Drake meme. Doesn't like the fireworks, loves the tennis ball. Honestly, Bear will fetch maximum 5 times. And then I don't know if he's tired or he's over it, but he doesn't like fetching more than 5 times. She called you a good dog 1,000 times. I just remember one time 6 years ago when she told me I was a very, very bad dog. Honestly, I disagree. I think dogs don't remember anything negative. They only see the best in you. I did the math. We can't afford the cat. Oh, Bear, we already promised him 300,000 likes. Bear, where are you going? Just trying to get comfy? All right, so do you want the cat or not? Waiting on my luggage. It's a stick. Oh my God, that reminds me of the stick from the short that we put up, where it was like $295, the world's most expensive stick. Would still pet. Explosive dog. How would we write that? We wouldn't write explosive dog. We would say bomb sniffing dog. Bear, you're an explosive dog. Would you have explosive diarrhea? A bus full of former bad boys headed home from good boy camp. Oh, little doggos. With seatbelts on. This is the most safe school bus of dogs I've ever seen. So your owner made you fetch the ball, but they never actually threw it. I'd say you have a strong case for fraud. Bear, go get it. Go, bring it. Come on. Yeah, that's a good boy. Look, he brought the Roxy head that he's destroyed. Lay down. Ah, it's dog wars. Yeah. Let him entertain himself while I'm... Oh, he's over it. That was quick. What my dog is called, Charlie. What I call my dog, Poffle, Boffus, Mock, Ponzel, Foffle, Pritchard, Ernesto, Bushy Boy. Bear's nicknames. Bear, Floof, Noof, Doof, Doggo. I think that's it. This dog comes with 2 subs. Oh, that's really cute. I have the same backpack for Bear, but I use it to hold water bottles when we go hiking to give him a little extra weight. Someone should invent an alarm clock where the alarm clock is the sound of a dog about to throw up, because nothing wakes me up and gets me out of bed faster than that. Honestly, so true. It's actually happened when we film videos. Weaknesses, worried about their social status. Inflexible? Did Bear just throw up? And the only reason I get up so quickly is because this dog, for some reason, will throw up and just lay right back down into it like he's going for a swim. When I see my coworker's dog in the background of the video chat, I am that way. And every time Bear pops up into my videos, everyone's talking about it too. My emotional support dog after one day with me. Honestly, I feel like Bear would run out of empathy really quick if he actually knew what I was talking about when I unload my feelings to him. Actually, that's why he's tired right now, because last night I was going through it and I couldn't sleep, so I had some anxiety. So I started telling him all my problems. So I think he's carrying that burden right now. It's not breaking HIPAA if you tell your dog about your patients, right? By the age of 30, you should have a dog anxiety and a dog anxiety. Oh my God. At age 33, I cannot see a more accurate meme. I have a dog, I have anxiety, and I have a dog with anxiety. Actually, I don't know. He doesn't look like he has much anxiety. How it feels sharing the bed with my dog. Oh my God, that is me. If I let him on my bed, not only is it incredibly hairy, but there's no room because he's giant. Do dogs understand elevators, or are they like, okay, it's time to get out into the world changer? Every time the elevator door opens, Bear gets in it, but I don't think he understands what's happening. I think he just sees a door open and he thinks that's the next step because that's been his progression for so long. But you know what is interesting? If the elevator stops at a different floor, he knows not to get off. So what's that about? What does he know about that floor that I don't know? Me hungover, AF, trying to find the ibuprofen aisle. Be careful with ibuprofen when you're hungover. Your stomach's irritated from alcohol, you have a little gastritis, ibuprofen can make it worse. How my dog sees himself when the doorbell rings. Honestly, Bear acts so hard when the doorbell rings, and then the second someone comes in, he just starts licking them and like welcoming them and showing them where all the valuables are. He's like the exact opposite of this. He is purebred. I would like for my next dog to be a rescue. My biggest concern is where to find one that matches my personality and how that whole process works. So if anyone has tips, hit me down below. I'm sorry, Jack, there's not enough room. There's all these dogs. James Cameron just came out with a statement and said that it's scientifically not plausible for both of them to have survived. And actually the book that I'm reading was interesting in that they talked about whether or not our emotions would change if she invited him and he said no, if he asked to come on and then she said no, and how would that affect our viewpoints of these characters? I thought it was a really interesting discussion. What would you think if he got on there with her, with another person, and one of them had to jump off or get pushed off, and she pushed off the other person? What would your thoughts be about her? For those of you who don't know, this is Roxy, my husky. She's the OG rock star that helped me launch my social media career.
He has more than 2 million followers on Instagram. Talk about a fan club.
Today, I want to share a very important story of something that happened with Roxy. It's a terrible situation. As you can tell, she's now a tripod, a 3-legged dog, and she's doing well, but this situation could have been avoided, and I want to arm you with information that you should know when you have to make a choice when your pet gets sick. Roxy, come. Sit. Good dog. Good doggy. You good doggy. So to set up the story, Roxy now lives with my dad, so he takes care of her vet stuff, takes her in for checkups. And Roxy had sort of a bump growing on her right arm. And this bump was there for several years. It may have grown slightly over the course of those years, but this bump never bothered her, so I wasn't too concerned about it. But my dad said, you know what, I'm gonna point it out to the vet on the upcoming visit, which I thought was a very good idea. So when they went to go get this bump checked out and an overall physical, they said, you know, for 12 years old, this dog is doing very well, in good health, running all the time. She's so fit, she's so active. She looks like an 8-year-old dog. But they said, we wanna take a sample of the bump on her leg and send it for cytology, which means that under a microscope, they look at and see what cells are there to decide, is this a cancerous lump, non-cancerous lump, etc. So after my dad went, he gave my phone number for the vet to call back. And then when the vet ended up calling me back, they said that, you know, unfortunately, the cytology came back and it looks like this is a cancerous bump. They called it a sarcoma, which means that it's a soft tissue cancer. And they recommended bringing the dog back in for a consultation with the surgeon. I know how surgery is difficult on humans, and I can only imagine how difficult it is on dogs who need activity in order to stay fit, in order to stay mentally well, especially dogs like Roxy. She's so active, she's a husky, she has so much energy in her. So I told my dad a list of questions that I wanted him to ask the surgeon. And those questions are questions that you should always ask before going in for a procedure. A, is this type of cancer that Roxy has dangerous in that is it likely to spread? Is it likely to cause problems elsewhere in her body? What's the 5-year survival rate? What impact will this have on her life as a 12-year-old dog? Is it worth for a 12-year-old husky to go for a surgery on her leg to remove a tumor that so far has yet to cause a problem? And I thought my dad, being a physician, would be well-armed to ask these questions, and I trusted him to do so. I actually don't talk to him the following day when he actually went for the visit. And the next day, he sends me a picture of Roxy wearing a cast, healing up in the sun in the backyard. And I thought, oh wow, she must be doing so much better because she's healing. And he goes, she's doing awesome post-op. The doctor told me that it wouldn't be that big of a procedure and that they could likely do this, you know, in and out, 1 day's time, and they thought it was beneficial. I was a little bit skeptical, but, you know, seeing the fact that she was recovering was very promising to me. So over the next few days, things started to change. She had to go in for multiple wound checks to get her wound examined because the area where she had the tumor, she had a very thick bandage on. My dad couldn't check it himself. There was sutures in place, staples in place, and they needed to constantly check this. So she was on antibiotics, they were doing these checks. I noticed that the bandage was on really tight, but you know, I'm looking at pictures and I'm trusting my dad and all this stuff. And then like a week goes by and my dad calls me while I'm working in the hospital and says, Mike, like, I need you to come home after the hospital and look at Roxy's leg. I don't think it's good. And I'm like, but wait, like, I'm not a surgeon, A, I'm not a vet, B. If you think it's bad, then that means probably we should go get it checked out at the vet. And he was like, no, I have an appointment with them like in 2 days. I'm gonna go then. That's when the surgeon is there because he's on vacation. There's some complicated things. Okay, of course I'll come by. So when I came by, I'm looking at Roxy's foot. It was now unwrapped. And this is a graphic photo, but I'm gonna show it. Her foot was dead. Her paw was dead. Like, there was no blood flow. It was a cold foot. It smelled gangrenous, which means it was becoming infected. I was like, Dad, like, this is terrible. Like, she's gonna lose her foot. Like, there's no, like, this foot has clearly not had circulation for a long period of time. And for me, what I wasn't sure of, was this an issue of the bandage being very tight? Or was this more of an issue surgically, that when they removed the tumor, they also took out extra tissue and possibly the blood vessels that go down to her foot? And my dad like never clarified this with the surgeon. Roxy, leave it. So I was very like upset about that and wondering the whole time, A, should have Roxy have gotten the surgery? B, did the surgeon make a mistake? C, was the bandage on too tight? And honestly, it's really hard to know. So that when my dad actually went in there, they basically said, yeah, look, we think we should amputate. And my dad let me speak to the surgeon. And I asked the surgeon very frankly, like, look, is this a mess up? Did we take out too much, tissue that the blood vessel came out along with it? Because if you take out the arteries and the blood vessels that are higher in the leg, they essentially feed circulation to the bottom of the paw. It would never heal the bottom of the paw then. Or was it that the bandage was on too tight in the rehab process? Or is she an older dog and this is a normal complication that happens time to time? And he basically said all of the above. And while I appreciate the honesty, because he said, look, we had to take out a lot of tissue, the tumor was larger than we expected. I think like if I was working with a human surgeon, I think that we would have thought about those risks, that if we open up or are potentially getting ready to open up a person's body, and then we see that we can cause more damage than actually benefit by doing a biopsy or removing a tumor, we actually don't do it. So I asked the surgeon, like, what was the dog's staging of the cancer? And it was a stage 1 sarcoma. And not to say that this isn't serious, it's just that at 12 years old, Roxy's life expectancy is maybe another 2 years. She's getting in that range. It's sad to say, obviously. But, we're really hurting her quality of life by putting her under the stress of that surgery, plus the risk of this things going wrong, like right now. So poor Roxy, in recovering from the surgery, was barely able to walk, was very sick during that time. And then now we're saying we have to amputate her entire leg. And not just the entire leg, the scapula as well, because apparently in dogs, this is the way to do it. I asked about a prosthetic, but he said that that would require a second operation as well. And she would have to learn to use it. And an older dog, and being a husky, which is a breed that tends to be more picky with pain, he said that she might not even adapt well to it. He recommended just taking off the entire leg. And kind of told me some new information that I didn't know about dogs, that they tend to handle amputations better than humans because they don't have the psychological traumatic component of this, where they don't miss having the 4th leg. That, she's like, okay, I have 3 legs, this is what I do, and that's who I am, and that's the dog I am, and I move forward. Can I get a high five? Or is that a messed up task? Oh, good girl! Wow. Good girl, here you get bonus. And because of that, they seem to rebound quite well. And I will say out of this whole process, that's probably been the most accurate part of it, that Roxy has recovered quite well, thank God. She had a mean scar, you can't really see it now, but it's healed up quite well. We took out the staples a few weeks ago. She's now going for longer walks with my dad. When I come home, she's wagging her tail. She's still shedding like a monster, as you can tell from all of my clothes. She's still super sweet. She's happy, obviously slightly lower energy because she fatigues. And now I know she has higher risks of getting arthritis in her legs because she's unbalanced. She has to put more stress on each one of the joints. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad watching, your dog get sick with whatever condition it is. So all in all, this goes to say, when you bring your dog to the vet, make sure you're armed with good information. Make sure you ask hard questions of both, not only the general vet, but the surgeon. Make sure they give you accurate risk assessments, because it's very easy to say, oh, we'll just take this out, easy peasy, no problem. But then your dog can lose a limb, and it could be quite frustrating because it feels like you didn't get all the information. But know that pets are sadly not immortal, and you want to think about their quality of life just as importantly as you do the length of their life. So hopefully Roxy continues to be a little rock star that she is. She loves her treats. And I'm really glad that, this terrible situation kind of had not the worst ending. I want to start off by telling you right away, little Bear was diagnosed with Lyme disease. Don't worry, he's fine. The story has a happy ending. I just want to tell you about the process. How did Bear get diagnosed with Lyme disease? What I did to treat it. I enrolled Bear in a training program to get him to be hospital certified as a therapy dog, because I think Bear is so doofy and cute. He can bring a lot of happiness and joy to those who are unfortunately spending some significant amount of time in the hospital. When Bear came back from training, he was due for his annual physical exam, some vaccinations. I also needed a refill of his heartworm medication. This is a monthly tab that you give to dogs to prevent parasitic heart disease. Before most vets will give the first prescription of heartworm medication, they'll do a rapid test to confirm that the dog actively doesn't have that illness. Because if they do, they need to get treated for it before getting put on a preventive dosage. What I didn't know was that when they did the rapid test, it also included a rapid test for Lyme disease. When the vet tech came back, they tell me that Bear's positive for Lyme disease. Bear is completely asymptomatic. No joint issues, no joint pain, no limping. He's happy-go-lucky, eating well, pooping well, peeing well, everything was great. So it's probably a false positive. But 24 hours later, a new vet calls me and says he is positive for Lyme disease. When I asked some follow-up questions, I wasn't quite happy with the responses I was getting. The vet wasn't certain about what the test was looking for. Was it antigen, viral load, antibodies? He didn't have much experience with Lyme disease. So I said, thank you, I'll make my own decision and I'll follow up with the office. I know when it comes to Lyme disease, in humans, it can be a very controversial topic. I didn't know how controversial it was in animals. Lyme disease is a tick-borne illness that can be largely prevented by having proper tick prevention methods in action. Bear loves to run around in grass. He grew up in upstate New York, which is a haven for ticks. He has very thick, dense brown fur, so it's near impossible to see if he has a tick on him to remove it. In treating Lyme disease in humans, I know the mainstay of treatment is antibiotics. However, I didn't want to subject Bear to antibiotics unnecessarily, so I decided to jump into the research and see what I found when it comes to treating dogs who weren't showing symptoms to see if it's even worthwhile to treat them. And what I found really surprised me. I'm not a vet. I don't pretend to be a vet. I'm not giving you advice on what you should do with your dog. It's simply me describing to you what I found in quality veterinary literature. In 2006, the American College of Veterinary Internal Medicine published a consensus of what doctors, vets specifically, thought about treating dogs with Lyme disease. They did an update to this in 2018, which is great considering Bear was just diagnosed with Lyme disease in 2019. This is what it states verbatim. The topic is still controversial. 4 out of 6 doctors do not routinely recommend treatments for such dogs. The majority of vets on this internal medicine committee recommend against treating dogs with antibiotics that just solely have a positive Lyme disease test, but don't show any other symptoms, and their urine studies are normal. The reason why they say that, it promotes overuse of antibiotics. There's no data proving that treatment of healthy dogs is associated with decreased risk of illness. Very important. Lyme may not be cleared from all tissues with treatment. Reinfection may commonly occur in dogs in endemic areas. Now, this consensus is very important. I was able to make the decision to hold off on treating Bear for Lyme disease. However, fast forward a few weeks later, Bear started limping and he started getting arthralgias, which means pain in his joints. So I knew it was time to start treating his Lyme disease because he was starting to get affected by it and showing symptoms. So I went to the vet, picked up the prescription for doxycycline, which is the antibiotic of choice in treating Lyme disease. And it's a very long course. It's actually a 30-day course of antibiotics. Now, when you're giving a dog or even a human such a long course of antibiotics, I think it's wise to get them on a probiotic at the same time so you're not completely destroying the bacteria that's found in our gut or in the animal's gut. And Bear did actually really well with the doxycycline. He didn't have any side effects. I was happy that I was able to get him treatment, but not unnecessary treatment. It's always good to become more informed on the illness that you or your animal's being diagnosed with, and then bring that information to the doctor or to another doctor for a second opinion. It's been 2 months since we finished the antibiotics. Bear's doing great. He's happy. We're back in training mode. Hey everybody, welcome to the first official episode of the Wednesday Checkup. I have my puppy Bear. Oh. Is he still in the shot when he's like this? I have to tell you a crazy story of something that happened to us just a few days ago. At the end of this video, I'm gonna be giving you tips on how to protect yourself in case a dog attacks you, and how to break up a dog fight if your dog gets into a fight with another. All right, let me get to this story. Bear will come back a little bit later and say bye to you guys. A few days ago, I was filming for the YouTube channel. Surprise, I'm not gonna tell you the video. It's gonna be out later this month. And I decided to take Bear downstairs to the dog park. Bear is there twice twice a day at least, so he knows all the other dogs. He plays really well, especially with the little Chihuahuas and Frenchies. There's even one that looks like a Wookiee. He loves it. He's in heaven. They're in heaven. All the owners know Bear. I get to the dog park. I see a young lady come in with a golden retriever. First little suspicious sign is her golden retriever pulled her in to the dog park. I was like, all right, she doesn't have great control of her dog. And I watch these things. I want to know right away if there's a problem dog coming in, so I have to hold Bear, make sure that he doesn't get hurt. It still looked friendly. Tail was wagging, and it's a golden retriever at the end of the day, you know? And right away she tells me that her dog doesn't really like big dogs and is kind of afraid of them. Bear said hi to that dog, and it gave him like a little pause, and Bear just continued along his merry way playing with the other dogs. So about 5 minutes go by. All of a sudden, I see that Bear is standing right next to the golden, side by side, but they're showing all the signs of aggression. Frozen, mouths closed, slobbering, tails up, very rigid pose. The other dog owner comes over and sort of shoves her dog away from Bear, and that triggers the golden. Snarling, and the golden just dives at Bear. I initially was like, okay, a dog fight, I've seen these happen, I know how to break this up, no worries. As soon as I run up to control the situation, she grabs her dog's collar. It was a big golden retriever. It was probably like 95 pounds. She ends up falling with the golden retriever because there's a little mound in the park, and she falls onto the concrete holding the golden. The lady starts screaming. Her golden is locked on her forearm. Her own golden retriever. She's screaming, it's me, crying for help. Two people from the street jump the fence of the dog park, start punching her dog in the face to get it to let go, because this is a big dog, and it's completely like smashing her forearm. Finally, it lets go, but as soon as it lets go, it gets angry and jumps on her again. Luckily, all the people that were there, they were able to control it with the collar, pulling on its legs, this and that, pulled up her sweater and showed me her wounds, and she had deep puncture wounds. At least 3 deep puncture wounds, what it seemed like. And some smaller cuts as well, and bleeding from the nose and the head. And she's like, well, I don't need to go to the hospital for this. And I'm like, you really need to see a doctor. You don't know if you have an infection. You don't know if you're gonna continue bleeding. You need probably stitches and antibiotics. My adrenaline at that point was just through the roof. I've seen dogs get into fights many times. It just happens. You know, dogs are animals. You have to correct them sometimes. And I've even seen dogs accidentally bite humans when humans would put their hands in the middle of a dog fight. But I've never seen a dog attack another dog who, first of all, wasn't being violent, and then when separated, go after a human, but not just any human, its own human. If that dog went for her neck and bit through her jugular vein or carotid artery, she could have bled out and died. Here's what to do if your dog gets into a dog fight. First, please, whatever you do, don't stick your hands, fingers, arms, legs in between 2 dogs that are fighting. You're just asking to get bitten. If you have 2 dogs that know each other and they're sort of fighting at home, a very simple thing to do is throw a blanket over them. That would usually make them disperse. If you're in a situation where you want to say no and be firm and yell at the dog, I wouldn't really recommend that. Loud voices can actually get the dogs even angrier and make them want to go at each other more. Think about like a boxer inside a boxing ring. They don't hear people chanting, they're just in the zone. But on the off chance, if you have like something like an air horn that makes a really loud, high-pitched noise, it can be loud enough to disperse the fight. Now, the most effective way to separate 2 dogs that are fighting requires 2 people. One on either side behind the dogs. You want to pick up the hind legs and do something known as a wheelbarrow technique. As soon as you lift up the hind legs, generally the dogs will want to let go because they don't know what's going on. But as soon as you lift up the dogs, try and move in a circular fashion. As you move in the circular fashion, it'll give the dog something to do, but be careful because the dog will try and kick its legs out. You really need to get a solid grip, and you don't want to get bitten. Now, what if the dog attacks you? First of all, do not run whatever you do. Dogs are very fast, and they have a natural prey drive that makes them want to chase. Stand up tall, stand sideways, and not make eye contact. So it's not confrontational. You do still want to keep an eye on the dog without making eye contact. Next, in a firm voice, you want to tell the dog no. You just have to say it very passionately, confident that you're willing to stand your own ground. At the same time, you want to make fists. And it's not because I want you to get ready to fight the dog, but it's because the first things to get bitten and bitten off are fingers. If you keep them in fists, you're less likely to lose a finger. If the dog doesn't care that you try to stand non-confrontationally, not make eye contact, and gave it a command, and it still attacks you, at this point, you have to do what you have to do. Punch the dog in the nose, hit it in its throat. Those are its two most sensitive areas. If you can kick it in the rib cage, that's another thing you can do. And if you're completely losing the fight, make sure to roll up and protect your sensitive areas, your throat and face. If you're able to wrestle with the dog and get on top of it and pin it, know that the only way a dog can really hurt you is with its mouth. By getting on top of the dog and pinning it down, you can really neutralize the threat of the dog biting you. While you're fighting off this dog, you're also yelling for help in hopes that other people hear you and come to your aid. If the dog runs away or you're able to get away, call for help right away, and you need to go see a doctor. You need to make sure your vaccinations are up to date. If it was a rabid dog, you may need a series of injections. You'll probably need antibiotics. You may need sutures to stop the bleeding. Get help as soon as possible. The last thing you want to do is faint because of blood loss and not have anybody help you. Once your health is taken care of, make sure you report the dog bite to the proper authorities. The last thing you want is for that dog to bite another person or animal. I'm not an animal behavior specialist. I do have a lot of experience in raising dogs and understanding when they're about to get angry or do something wrong. But even here, I was shook. I needed to go and look up some information about what to do and refresh my memory. So I decided to make this video for you guys. Whether or not you own a dog, I think this is useful information. Right at the outset, I have to tell you, Bear is okay. He's doing well. Come on, little puppy. Good boy. Look at his giant face. Clean your face, you're on camera. He isn't going traveling. This isn't his neck pillow. This is his anti-lick his incision pillow. Basically, he can't turn around all the way with this because it's so big that if he wants to lick himself, he just can't. He's been wearing this for the last week. He's pretty comfy with it and used to it by now, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off for the video because I can watch him right now and make sure he doesn't lick anything that he's not supposed to, except me. The surgery that he had was, you may have guessed it, he was neutered. Snip, snip for poor little Bear. There's a few reasons why I decided to get Bear neutered, but that wasn't an easy decision. I actually went back and forth a few times. First of all, Bear has a snaggletooth. I don't know if anyone has seen it. He has this snaggletooth, and I was kind of worried if it would bother him long term. So I thought, you know, let's do two birds, one stone type situation. Get him neutered, and while he's under anesthesia, they can A, clean his teeth, and B, get the tooth out. However, when this little guy went under anesthesia, they did x-rays, and they found that he has an extra canine tooth. Bear, you have 3 canines. If you're wondering, the canine tooth is this bottom tooth right here, the big one. And he literally has an extra one that's growing outward. When the doctor did the x-rays, it seemed like the roots were so interconnected with all the other teeth that by taking it out, there may be damage done to the other teeth. She was worried about that, so she explained that since he's eating well, there's no pain, there's no discomfort, they decided to keep the tooth in. So Bear is still having his 3 canines. The pros to neutering a dog really come from A, it changes their behavior for the better slightly. For male dominant dogs, there's decreased marking, decreased humping, decreased reaction to females in heat. Bear didn't have any of those really issues. I mean, occasionally when he would see a female dog, he would get really excited. He's not aggressive in any way. He's super friendly. Then I started looking and doing research on what would be the pros from a health standpoint for Bear. I have to say at the outset of this, I'm not a vet. I am a medical doctor, although some people have gotten that confused in the past. Roxy.
È un veterinario meraviglioso.
The things that I found were mainly from quality research and speaking with some really experienced dog trainers, veterinarians, things like that. So if you're thinking about neutering your dog, don't neuter your dog simply because your dog is doing something that you don't like and you think that's going to be a cure-all. Train your dog. I think for controlling the pet population in general, it's a good idea, but you shouldn't be using it as a cure-all for some behavioral issue unless it's specifically recommended to you by a veterinarian and or a trained behavioral specialist for dogs. Now, Bear never really had any issues. He was attacked one time, and that's a crazy video. I'll link that down below. But in general, he's a happy noob. He loves playing with other dogs. Lately, I haven't been letting him play with dogs because I'm trying to get him ready for his certification to come with me to the hospital, and we want Bear to be well trained for that, so I haven't been letting him play with too many puppies in the dog park, mostly just Roxy when she comes to visit or he goes to visit her. There's a lot more health benefits for spaying a female dog than neutering a male male dog. Like, there are decreases in some cancers for male dogs, like testicular, prostate issues, but in reality, not too many health benefits. There are certain studies going around saying that dogs who are neutered live longer. I take those studies with a grain of salt, because dogs that have been neutered generally get better veterinary care. They have owners that are attentive to them. It's no surprise that they live longer. At least there's evidence that they don't live a shorter life, because some people have said that, like, oh my God, you're gonna take away the testosterone, that means dogs are gonna live a shorter life. That's not true. We have evidence of that, at least. My main reason why I wanted to neuter Bear is if I travel and I'm gone for a day or two and I leave Bear with my dad or a friend, I don't want the possibility of Bear becoming a baby daddy.
You are the father!
I don't want to pay doggy child support when he impregnates a little chihuahua. Hey. So we got Bear fixed primarily for that reason. He's doing great after the operation. He's like a happy new, he's healing well. Did you get hiccups on camera? Oh, yes, hiccups. Oh my God, Dad, you have to show the footage of him when he was a little baby having hiccups on my lap. He has hiccups. Growing pups always have hiccups. That's not new, so that doesn't even concern me.